I don't know if there's a large majority that spends it on legal drugs necessarily, but I do think it's we have an overly generous welfare system. You know, it's a matter of supply and demand in terms of, are you going to encourage people, incentivize people to actually go out and get a job and hold a job, or are you going to make it easier for them to stay off work and not have a job? If you give people free money, people will take free money. We see it every time it's tried. And of course, you're going to have a lot of bad actors in there, right? People who decide that they're going to take that money, whatever it is, either trade in-kind benefits like welfare or like food stamps or something like that, and trade it for cash for somebody else, or they're going to take straight cash. In California, was it a year or two ago, they had a big scandal with the casinos. People were taking their EBT cards, little electronic benefit cards, because now it seemed mean to have to make them go down and actually pick up a check or wait for a check in the mail, so they just electronically balance transferred things. And we found that a large percentage of these balance transfers were being collected at Native American casinos. Now, why would that be? Because they're using that money to go gamble? Is that what we intended our welfare state for? You know, California has 12% of the population of the country. We have 30% of the people on welfare in the country. So we give a very generous benefit. And how is that working out for our economy? Is that
well, from what I know, if you take a look at statistics, most of the aid goes to people who need it. The aid is a lot of times in the form of vouchers and things of that nature, so it's not cash directly. However, there is always a small market in people who abuse the system, and that's why there is welfare fraud. There are people who do commit that. I don't know that it's a majority, but I'm sure that there is a percentage where that happens. But it's difficult, so it's not widespread, I don't think.
I'm not really sure how many people are getting benefits that actually need it or are just using the system. Since you have 46 million people in the country now that are getting some kind of welfare benefits, like food stamps, for example, it seems like that's a lot of people, so I can't say on any given basis. But your question is, do I think there's some people that abuse the system? Absolutely. I think there's a lot of people that abuse the system. I think we talk about hunger in this country as there's always kids starving and whatnot. I don't see anybody really starving. If you look at starving, look on the website, look on the internet, and go to Africa and see kids, you know, that have just skeletons of their body. That's starving, in my opinion. So.
Wasn't ready to be no millionaire. I was ill prepared. I was prepared to be ill though. The skill was there. In the beginning, it wasn't about the ends. It was about busting raps and standing.
That possibly could be the case. It's tough. I think the last several years, our economy has been so tight that it required a high level of experience and skills to get a job. And if people don't have the skills, even if they're able to work and learn, people aren't willing to take the risks. And then there's some people who probably choose not to. So it's probably, and drug testing probably is a deterrent. So it's all part of the mix.
For something, an acronym, cut the and act like you're happy. I'm back again with another anthem. Why stop when it doesn't have to end? It ain't over till I say it's over. Enough with us.
I've never had to really be concerned about getting a job over a drug test, but I can see how that would disqualify some people. I don't think that's the main reason why. I wouldn't think that's the main reason why people aren't working. I think the main reason, that is your question, right? Why are people not working? Why are people not able to get jobs?
Yeah, why do you think that people don't go out and get jobs when they're already on the system?
So why do they not get jobs in the first place?
Yeah.
So you're saying, why do they even bother not applying? Well, I do think that the social, the government, I can't say the word.
Basically has made life comfortable for them already, so
yes,
they don't really need
there are so many options out there. If you get unemployment benefits, say you lost your job, there was a time in this country, recently we get 100 weeks of unemployment. That's all, that's almost 2 full years of unemployment. Studies will show that a lot of people, not everyone, some people want to work and some people try to work, but if you have that benefit for you, they will wait until the last 2 or 3 weeks. Why would you want to go get a job where you get paid just a little bit, where you can get almost as much and not have to do anything? That's just basic economics. I don't understand that. I understand it, but I don't necessarily think that would be my personal choice, but I think that's part of it. Is it because they can't pass a drug test? I don't know. That might be for some people. I think there's other reasons why people don't get jobs. They're able to get by. You know, they say necessity is the mother of all inventions, right? I mean, if you need to get something done, you will get it done. So if you need to go pay for yourself and survive, there's no one there to help you, then you're more likely to go out there and survive. If someone's going to take care of you, if you can move in with a parent and you know, or a friend or somebody there to enable you, then you're more likely to do that.
Throw me to them wolves and close the gate up. I'm afraid of what'll happen to them wolves. When the thought of being thrown into an alligator pit, I salivated it. Raiders up, hands up like it's 12 noon. Nah, homie, holding straighter up. Wave them to your dislocator, rotator cuff.
Okay, so I'll go with the main argument against drug testing would be for the kids, right? I mean, the kids of those families that need the welfare and need the support. Just because their mother or father is a drug addict doesn't mean that the kid shouldn't get some assistance, right? So that's like the main reason against it. People will argue against it. However, I mean, I would argue rather than do that, if the parent were to not pass a drug test or whatever that applied for it, then those kids probably shouldn't be in the home anyway. They need to be, especially I'm talking about hardcore drug users that can't really control they can't really protect their kids as it is. So Child Protective Services should probably come in and get those kids. I would love to see that. I would love to see the idea of, if you're going to get the benefits of some kind of welfare system, you should at least, not that, you know, as a libertarian, if I was partial libertarian, if somebody wants to do drugs, go for it. But don't then need assistance from the government. Don't need help with your dependency. Don't need help with, you know, your food coverage and all that stuff. You know, if you can afford it, great. It's illegal and you shouldn't do it. I think it's good for people, because that's the problem. People think that and go ahead and go for it, but then there's so many unintended consequences that you can't control. You get addicted if you do certain drugs right away, and then you just become a detriment to society. So I would prefer that if somebody's going to get, you know, some benefits, that they at least prove to themselves and to the country that's giving them, that's being generous to them, that they deserve it by working for it. See, that's what I would rather see. I forget about the drugs as much. Make them do something for that benefit. If you're going to give them something, make them return. Have them have some skin in the game. Have them be part of the country. Why there's just people. There's two different groups of people. You got people that are just taking, and then people that are, you know, giving or doing or working, and paying their taxes and contributing to society. So if you want to take, that's fine. We're a generous country. There's a safety net that's been developed over the years. That's great to have that safety net, but why not make them give something back? Instead of welfare, let's call it workfare. I mean, they've talked about that concept. Let's make them work for it. I think it would make them feel better too about taking the benefit and giving something back to the country. If they don't want to do it, then no, they shouldn't get it.
Came to ruffle feathers, now egos I ain't deflating. The last chance to make this whole stadium in rust.
I think it is better than it was. Right now, things really changed in the late 1990s, where they required, after a certain amount of time of being on welfare, you had to have a job. It's called welfare to work. Before that, it wasn't tied quite as tightly to that, and now it is. You have a couple of years, you can enroll in school, and you can prove that. But after about a year, you actually have to show that you have a job, or that you're in job training.
I think it's broken beyond belief. I think many people who don't need it abuse it. I think that people who do need it, really do need it, are lumped in with people who don't. I think it should be temporary unless you're absolutely have some mental deficiency or something that you can't take care of yourself. And I'm all for taking care of those people. Our Social Security system does take care of those people. People who are mentally handicapped or in a wheelchair or something like that, we help them out. We're not a mean, uncompassionate culture.